Hello everyone, today we're gonna start making flat rice noodle with egg gravy today. And here's the ingredients. Pause the video if you want to have a closer look. And without further ado, let's start cooking.
We're gonna heat up the pan first. Now we want to cook it in high heat to get a smoky flavor in the flat rice noodle. Let's put oil first. You can use any oil. Canola oil, this is the one I'm using right now. Around 2 tablespoons. I'm trying to get the oil to fill over the pan like that. And now we want to put around 1 tablespoon of garlic. Minced garlic. And after the garlic, we want to put fish ball. So we're gonna make a seafood flavor for this one. We want an onion after that. So we want to get it to have a gold texture on the onion and also on the fish ball. The flat noodle next. This is gonna be a 2-step process. We're gonna fry the noodle first, and then later on, we're gonna do the egg gravy, and then at the end of the video, we're gonna pour the egg gravy into the flat rice noodle, which is gonna be delicious. So next one, we're gonna put sesame oil. Now we're gonna add some white vinegar as well to make it more flavory. Around 1 tablespoon. Now, actually Chinese, we don't use any measurements. Like the way my mom cooks and what I picked up from her is actually we just put a lot of things without measurements and by gut. We usually follow our gut. Asians never use measurements, I'm just gonna be honest. We already got the golden flavor, which we definitely want. And as you can see as well, by adding the sesame oil later, it looks more glossier now, which is the kind of texture that we want for the flat rice noodle. I'm gonna move on to the seasoning. I'm gonna add some chili oil. So now we're gonna use oyster sauce, which is the main ingredient for the flat rice noodle. So we don't want to have it too much and not too little, so also around the middle ground. And we're gonna add pepper. Look at that. Ooh. Now the last one, we're gonna just add egg. Ooh, look at that. For this one, I just use 2 eggs, scramble it, and then pour it like that. So flat rice noodle has been a very common food or a popular dish for Chinese Indonesian community. This has been around for a couple of generations, especially when the Chinese migrant came to Indonesia, and when they settled into different regions in Indonesia, they developed their own style in making this flat rice noodle. Now comes the second part of the video, which is making the egg gravy. We're gonna start again with the oil. Now the next one, we're gonna put the minced garlic. On the next part, we're gonna put the seafood now. Careful for seafood, you don't want to overcook it. And it can get overcooked very fast, so you want to put the vegetable up next. Look at that. Chinese vegetable or the fat choy. Oyster sauce again. This is our main guy. Little, that's probably enough. And finally, we want to put a little bit of sugar and a bit of salt. Pepper as well. Pepper, there we go, stir it up. We're gonna add a bit of water now. The final ingredient that we're gonna put in is the egg gravy. First, again, you need to crack around 2 eggs and then stir it well. Leave that for now. What we wanna add next is tapioca flour or cornstarch, whatever you use is actually okay. This will make the soup quite gravy-like or glue-like. You have to put cold water as well. Give it a really good stir as well. You don't want the flour to be lumpy. You want it to be very smooth, and then later on, put everything in. Now, as you can see, as soon as I put the tapioca flour in, it's already get very clumpy, as you can see here. Now, probably I should add more water because it's too lumpy for my taste. To top it all up, the egg, of course, it is called the egg gravy. Now, while I'm stirring it up, I'm just gonna do it all over the pan like that. Slightly straight, like on the surface. See that texture? That's what we're looking for. Look at that, it's finished, ladies and gentlemen.
This afternoon I'm going to be making a traditional potato salad. These did originate in Germany in the 19th century, and from then on, families and generations have passed them down, adding their own little touches. But right now I'm going to bring it back to the basics and make a traditional German potato salad for my family.
This is I'm doing, what am I doing? Jalapeno soft chicken tacos today. I have some connection to Mexico and Central America. I traveled there years back and I had a lot of fun. I always recall eating a lot of Mexican food. I've always loved Mexican food, loved tacos, loved burritos. There were plenty of places that I'd been to throughout my life where I thought, hey, this is probably the best Mexican food I'd ever had, but none of them quite surpassed the food that I ate in Mexico, so I'm going to try and recreate some of the food I ate there. What is this?
Red cabbage.
We have red cabbage, we have capsicum, we have red and green chilies, we have onions, we have the chicken, obviously, we have a packaged smoky chipotle sauce that we're going to be using, we have a lime, we have wraps and guacamole and stuff, and also some jalapenos and some rice and some sriracha mayo, and let's get to it, let's do it. It's not the most authentic or the truest to Mexican culture, but I'm going to be using some Water Valley Delish avocado, what do you call it, like dip? What is that? Dip? Yeah, like a dip, because we can't get any avocados at the moment, unfortunately. There's an avocado shortage.
So I'm making a pasta and I'm just adding things that I like. That's usually the way I do it. So I've got some parmesan for later. I've got some virgin olive oil, diced tomatoes, some more tomatoes there, some chili flakes, onion, garlic, basil, chorizo, and of course my pasta sauce. And I'm lazy, so I cut everything beforehand and I am cooking gnocchi that's already pre-made. So I've got my hot water boiling and I'm going to add some salt because you should always do that. And I add in quite a bit. Next I'm going to pop some oil in the fry pan because I'm going to start making my sauce while that water is boiling. Half of my garlic at this stage. Actually, maybe a little bit more. And a little bit of salt and pepper. And let that cook off. So at this stage, I'm just kind of stirring it here and there and like letting it sweat out, as my mum says. I don't know all about me, so. So now I'm adding my chorizo, and I don't do that beforehand because I think that it soaks up the flavour more with those ingredients of the onion and the garlic. Cool. So I'll let that cook off and just kind of wait until they're a little bit crispy. We have diced onions, tomato, and now I'm just going to add turn that heat down a little bit. And now I'm adding this in, just a pasta sauce. It's probably the one that I like the most. And I'm only going to add in a little bit because I already have the diced tomatoes. And then I'm also going to add in some of my chili flakes. All of them, I guess. And a little bit more garlic. And now I'm going to add some basil. And I'll kind of just let that sit on top, and then I'll stir it in once it looks like it's kind of, I don't know, like hot. So now we're going to add the gnocchi. Cool. Easy. So now I'm going to transfer my gnocchi to my pasta sauce with my slotted spoon. And a good thing about this is because there's some of the water from the gnocchi will go into the sauce. Now I have it on a low heat, so I'm just going to stir through the gnocchi really gently. And that will continue to cook in the sauce a little bit, which is good. And then I'm going to add the rest of the basil, add a little bit more salt and pepper, and then I'll top it with Parmesan cheese. So that is my finished product. Sometimes it doesn't actually look as good as it tastes, but I swear it does taste really good.
What I cooked in the end, it's called flat rice noodle with egg gravy. This is a special food as well that's quite famous from my hometown in Borneo, West Borneo, and it's quite popular in Indonesia as well. There's actually a lot of type of flat noodle rice. I'm just gonna quickly show like that, flat noodle rice. This one with egg gravy, and yeah, Chinese immigrant actually developed the recipe when they came in around the 80s or 60s. And yeah, ever since then, every region has their own speciality.
Made potato salad. I don't know if you can see. And I'm having sausages, but I didn't make them. So yeah, it actually originates from Germany. And it's pretty basic. Like, it doesn't have any like fun things really, as you would normally think. But I think families have just like changed it and passed it down through generations and altered it how they like it. And yeah, it was fun to make. Pretty easy.
Nice.
Yeah, it started in the 19th century in Germany. So I actually thought it started like in the US or something. It just seemed like a meal, like a barbecue thing that they would have.
I've got a variation of the taco. It's not like the traditional taco in its original form, but it is like chicken and jalapeno soft shell tacos.
They look so good.
And I'm actually really stoked with the presentation. It's like probably the best food I've ever cooked. And I didn't even put in all that much effort, and it was a fucking nightmare filming it. Because
trust
tell me about it.
They originate from in Mexico. I know originally village people in Mexico used to cook like make fish tacos. I'm not exactly sure when, but that's how it started, and then obviously went on to become different variations of corn and beef and pork and chicken, like I've got here, with all sorts of spices that they use.
So I've got gnocchi here. Yeah, without it moving. There we go. I just kind of add whatever I like to pasta, and like that's what my mum's always done. So like it's usually whatever's like left over in the pantry. Well, obviously gnocchi's from Italy, and I'm part Italian. Yeah, it's always good comfort food. It's always something that's made at least twice a week. It's been consistent and always fills you up, so I like it. Yeah, I like every type of pasta.
Should we start eating? Should we eat?
Yes, please. I actually haven't eaten. Let's dig in. What happened to eat?
Yeah.